Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 12. Now, Chris, plenty of drama. Again, where would you like to start today?
Well, Dave, I think the way the episode started, you know, they're in the couples, and we've got a bit of tea, Dave. We've got a bit of, little bit of something going down with fucking that Bella and Shannon. You know, he's been spotted with a girl and a child, and apparently he did the shush little gesture to Claire, Dave, and Lyndall.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Claire, it was a trigger after what Jesse had done, even though they're all loved up. And all through the episode, you're like, well, the first half hour, it's like, ooh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I've got to say, though, Dave, right? Now, what really pissed me off with all this is Shannon spoke to Caitlyn, disgusting. We talked about it in the last episode. Absolute disgrace. Fucking wanker. It's fact, if someone said that to me and you said the same thing, you'd be out the door, wouldn't you? You'd be like, I'm worth more than this. You don't find me attractive. See you later, pal. No. Caitlyn says, oh, if he apologizes, I think I will move on. I'm just like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, you absolute fame-hungry fucker. Like, I feel sorry for her. The tears were genuine. He was horrible, totally physically and mentally character assassinator. And I think Shannon's a little wanker, if I'm being honest. What a horrible lad. He's a horrible guy. You can see that he's played the nice guy act. And as it's going on, he's a fucking absolute dick. But when she did that, Dave, I'm like, you know what? I'm out with you, because why are you saying you're going to let him back in? Because you want to stay in the show.
Yeah, 100%. I think the same sort of moment probably triggered us both, because I was the same. I mean, how can you not feel sympathy? And it's one of those, isn't it? Just because Shannon is a complete piece of shit, it doesn't mean that Caitlyn's not there for the fame as well, and she's not actually in there for the relationship. It doesn't mean stuff doesn't hurt. I think the toxicness, if that is even a word, just oozes out of him. But yeah, it's like, come on, at the next commitment ceremony, any normal person who wasn't anchored to the show for the fame of being on TV would surely leave. This guy is bad news. Everyone can see it. So it just it does sour that whole situation, because you can't have as much sympathy for her that you kind of want to.
Yeah, and it's what we said, didn't we, with like in the last episode, you're looking at Bronte and stuff, Dave. What's your episodes with Harrison? It's like, well, why are you putting up with that? You know, so I was sort of thinking, get in there, get the girls on side. He deserves to be fucking torn a strip or two. I forgot that the experts, we don't see him until the next episode, so they'll be with us tomorrow. Well, they were Sunday, sorry, not tomorrow, Day, which makes it even worse. But they're watching this whole thing unpack. So that was interesting. But again, Bronte and Harrison as well, they're just moving on some slightly before we go back to Shannon. Not living together. So what is the fucking point? It's just absolute nonsense. Boot them both out. They're not together. We'll talk about Harrison again, I'm sure. But I just the fucking, he's so flaky at times on this show. But anyway, Dave, let's go back to Shannon and that. Sorry, go on.
But just on the living separately, I mean, it does seem like they're taking the piss, doesn't it? Because it seems like an easy deal. It's like, all right, we'll just live separately, rock up for the dinner parties, create a bit of drama, pretend that we're trying to make a go of it, but we're really struggling. Go to the commitment ceremonies. Yeah, I really want to make a go of it. You know, I think there's just enough, and I'm not a quitter, Chris. I'm not a quitter, so I am gonna stay. I am gonna stay for love. It's like, oh, fuck off. So yeah, I completely agree. It does seem like an easy way out, and there should be an option. You know, the experts, Chris, should be able to veto them and just fucking jettison them out of the bloody apartments and say, you are taking the piss now. John can do all the grandstanding he likes about, if we'd have known, that Shannon, you were still in your love with your ex, we'd never have selected you. Well, you do fucking know it now, John. So what are you going to do with that information? Fuck all, because it creates good drama. So, and fair enough. I probably I would be more bored if you did throw them out. So good job, John. Good job.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I've got to say, Dave, what annoyed me with like Shannon. So I'll set the table. I know we've all probably watched this, but the girls are still sat there together, aren't they? And then you get like which couples are still a couple. And Caitlyn comes in on her own, so immediately the girls are up like, oh, what's happened? And they're talking. And Lyndall, again, Dave, she needs to get a bit of fucking perspective on what is actually like. It's secretive, as in it's going to ruin someone's life. She holds it. I mean, I wasn't happy with Cam. I thought he was being a bella, and it felt like he was protecting his mate. I don't know if he is mates with Shannon, but I just didn't understand Cam having a real go at her. It was like, but if this is true and it's real information, surely she should know. And you're in a TV show, so. Claire, who I thought was brilliant, she was not bothered about getting her fucking spoon out, Dave, even if they were wrong. That big fucking shit stirring spoon was there. But what did you think of Cam with that? Because I thought he was out of order, to be honest.
I thought he was, but I was trying to take a step back and think how much is happening off camera. I mean, fucking hell, it's the second time, isn't it? She'd done the same thing in the previous week, and now, we get another one later on in the dinner party. I was thinking like, oh, fucking everyone's got a secret. And of course, the cameras aren't there all the time, but it's just very convenient that everyone has this crisis of confidence, or conscience, sorry, not confidence, about whether they should tell, were you not thinking about that before the cameras came? Were you not thinking about that before the dinner party? No, right, okay, we need to catch it on camera, don't we? So it's just, fucking hell. I think Cam's probably one of those guys who just wants a quiet life, doesn't want to get involved in everyone else's drama, but you're on the wrong fucking show for that, mate. So, yeah, I thought he looked a bit of a dick about it, but it just seemed funny that Lyndall was in the exact same position, only this time it sounded like she had a bit more actual tea than last week. I mean, last week was nothing, was it? It was like, he said, Adam said, he might leave with Claire if you don't say or something. And it was fucking nothing at the end of the day, was it? Whereas this time, they've seen that Shannon has had, he's been spotted with his cousin. Oh no, sorry, spoiler alert. With a young girl and an older girl as well, which we all assume is his kid and ex-wife. I mean, what did you think to the way that all developed, Chris?
Well, I think I would not have an issue, even if even if there is this thing about he loves his ex-wife and all this stuff. It's his kid at the end of the day. She's the mother of his kid. They're going to have a relationship until the girl's grown up to be an adult. So there's nothing you can do about that.
It is a very normal, probably situation. Not when you've just literally a few days ago said you're still in love with her.
Yeah, and the fact that he shushed Claire and Lyndall.
Yeah. As if it's a secret or something.
And I think they fell for it. I think he's been winding them up because you can clearly see he's got a really strange sense of humor in the car driving into the meeting or whatever it is. Together, he was being a right little dick. Goes, she's not with me, and I'm like, but what are you doing? Like, I'm not throwing the towel in with his words. It's like, well, you just told you don't even fancy her. What? So what?
But Chris, you're saying he's been having them on there. I mean, did you buy it? Because
no.
Shannon's like, oh yeah, it's my cousin. And my second cousin. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that. But everyone's like, oh, that explains it then, doesn't it? Like, what? And then he's sort of like, yeah, they just both happen to be redheads. But that's totally different people. Totally different people, Chris.
I did. No, I'm not just saying this because you said it. I did think this is going to come back to bite him. Someone's going to see a picture. This is setting it up, Dave, for someone to see a picture of his ex. And they're going to say, obviously, it's got to be Claire or Lyndall and say, well, that was the woman who he was with when I saw him. That's got to be, that's what's coming next. It's got to be. If it's an absolute setup, that's got to be what it is. However, the experts weren't buying it from him either, were they? They were like, he's just fucking not aware, is he? He's just not aware of what he's doing, his delivery. No. He's just a prick. He's an absolute fuck boy. And we had a bit of tea on Facebook regarding one of our friends on there. I think it's Justin knows of him and has met him and everything, Dave. So I'm not going to think it's on Facebook because there's a few things in there, but it doesn't look good for him. I think everything we think about him from what we saw the last couple of episodes is true. He's definitely fame hungry.
Complete bellend. Utter bellend. It just, like I say, it oozes out of him. He just, he sort of thinks he's funny and stuff. He's just an absolute prick. But Chris, I have to say, right, while I'm on fire here, or firing off in all directions. So I was saying about John and then, dissing him and then putting a bit of praise on him as well. There was another moment which had me sighing. So when Alyssa and Duncan came in, and they were obviously very coupley and whatever, and Alessandra was saying, "Oh, this is great," and Alyssa really has, because she has intimacy issues because of her background, and John's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck off, John! You're supposed to put these fuckers together." Yeah. You know exactly what her background is. You know she grew up being a fucking Mormon until it turned out her dad was gay. We know that. You fucking know that. Don't give it the... Really? Oh, I did not know that, Alessandra. That is a wonderful fact. Stop playing up to the camera, you prick. We can see through you. And I do actually like John, but that was like, oh, come on.
Well, he was impressed with Claire and Jesse, Dave. And he was saying to Alessandra, like, what have you done to him? They come in, fake fucking, it's like a wrestling thing. Claire comes in on her own and they're like, oh, and then he comes in behind like, hey! And everyone was happy. Even I was smiling. I was like, you know what? Fair play. They looked good. They were like leaning into each other. There was compassion. Adam went over and hugged, Jesse went over and hugged Adam, didn't he? And it seemed really genuine. So they look at the moment, I'm sure it's not the end of it, but for what it was, that bit, I really, really liked it. I was like, you know what, that's like a bit of a plus of this episode. And we didn't see anything really other than the start, Melissa and Josh, Dave. So maybe that's been saved when the experts get involved. Because Sam was like, I think on them too. I was like, no, but we just sort of saw face shots of them, but they didn't speak, which was quite interesting.
They just replayed at the start, didn't they? The whole... Melissa's like, I'm doing this for all women. Just like, hallelujah.
That's brilliant.
It just cracks me up every time.
It's just fucking nonsense. But Dave, I tell you what, we thought the drama was over, and we'd had a couple of ETs of Bronte and Harrison together. We're going to work it out. We're really looking forward us to of going in there, and it's not about us. The guys were saying, I think Adam dropped a line in there to Harrison, and he said something like, well, at least it's not about you, mate. And he went, well, it can all turn on a dime in here, can't it? And starts laughing, and we're all ho-ho-hoing, and Harrison sat there all quiet, and then Janelle goes, got a bit of news, and she starts chatting away, doesn't she, to Adam? And she's like, I can't pull them up. And then you see the experts go, what's this? What's this? They were like meerkats. Whoa, what's going on? And but then she pulls other couples together, doesn't she? And she's like, yeah. And then you see Harrison, and the idea is that Dan has received a phone number of a girl, Dave. And as we find out, Dave, that's not even true, is it?
No, honestly, Chris is terrible. Is despicable behavior by Harrison. I mean, like, it's not the worst thing he's done. He's actually done things a lot worse, but honestly, I fucking laughed out loud because he was getting so agitated. Like, you don't need to talk about this or whatever. And then it was like, it comes out that it's Dan. And it's like, oh, well, fucking hell. I've got away with that one. And then the way he's sort of saying, Dan, I've got to tell you, I've got to fill you in on some. Start spilling this yarn about fucking how he just spins it. So it's like about Dan and him, and he's getting his alibi all sorted and that. I'm like, you devious fucker, and I'm like, again, have you seen the show? The experts are watching, right? They're
I
fucking
loved
watching
it.
everything, and they're gonna put you to test tomorrow. But I loved it as well. It was so good. But wow, he's just validating all the things that we said about how manipulative he is, and you can see that he gets away with a lot of gaslighting when it's one-on-one. And he can just make the other person feel like, they're going a bit crazy or something. But when it's in a group setting, it's fucking harder to do
Yeah.
and stick to it. And he's making out like he's some sort of fucking martyr because, he didn't give away his number. He asked for her number, you know? I can't. I lose count of the amount of times Chris go to a bar. Admittedly, he's a good-looking bloke, but Melissa is fucking right onto him because it's like, well, you don't just randomly do that and hand your number or ask for a number to a random person. You're already comfortable. You're already having that conversation. So yeah, she's got his number. I'm sure that she's been out with someone like Harrison. She's got him fucking nailed, I think.
Yeah, and I've got to say, just piggybacking what you said, it was TV gold because he was literally shitting himself, wasn't he? He definitely had to get a new pair of undies after this one day because he tried to shut them all down for gossiping, having a go at him, go, just leave it, just leave it. Then Dan realised that Harrison had threw him under the bus and it wasn't the case. Poor Sandy fucked off out and Dan had done nothing wrong. He was just like an innocent bystander. And you could see that, as you say, with the group setting, he was basically trying to gaslight the whole group. Well, why would I give her my number? Why would I give her my number? Like, Dave, I've never known anybody hand a mobile phone over to a girl unless he definitely contacted her. And even Alexandra went, well, he's deleted. I don't know. I think it was Mel went, well, I bet he's deleted the number now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But what got me, Bronte just fucking accepted it. She went, yeah, it's fine. He's a good looking guy. Let's move on. And everyone's like, no, that's not how it went. And the fucking experts were just fizzing, weren't they? Because I love John's line. I hope he does do it. He went, when we sit down with these lots, we're holding them all account. Their behavior and the validating of what they're doing, the manipulation is wrong. We are going to have them. So I really hope that when we see him on Sunday, Dave, for us, when we see it, it is going to be an absolute shit show. And he does lay into it. When John gets going, he gets going on this. He did last series, didn't he? Went out. But
yeah.
Dave, this is how you do reality TV for me. Absolutely
so
brilliant.
Good.
Brilliant, mate.
So good. But yeah, the thing is with Bronte, Chris, right, doesn't give a fuck about Harrison, really. There's no skin in the game. There's nothing at stake there. So you got a girl's number. Whatevs. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's why she reacted the way she reacted. She's living in a fucking separate apartment. She didn't give a toss.
No.
So, she can play up to the cameras that, oh, yeah, it's because I trust him. He's a good-looking guy. People are going to give him their numbers. What, like, just fucking randomly? While you're walking down the street, like? It's just because she doesn't care. But, again, she's playing that role of the understanding, trusting wife. And, it's just an utter nonsense. But honestly, Chris, I cannot wait for next Sunday now because it's going to be so messy, and I just can't. Just can't wait.
Brilliant stuff, mate. And again, we're at the end of the third week of MAFS, and it's just delivered for me. Again, it's just ridiculous TV, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And honestly, guys, please get your emails in cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast. As always, get onto Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. That general chat that we've got over there, brilliant in Messenger, guys. There's so much going on. So many people talking about the shows, live reactions. Again, as I've said a few times, it's spoilers in there. So stick on the main page as well, because there's a lot of chat about the episodes as they happen live and that. So it's really, really good fun. Get over to patreon.com/CD Reality Cast if you want to support us a little bit more. So, Dave, the roll call of honor is Ken, Lucky Lulu Green, Lauren, Tracy, Hennessy, Susan, Priscilla, Dee Dee, Katie, Libby, Joanna, Noreen, Chloe, Brianna, Helen, Keith, Michelle, Gillian, Zoe, Kristen, Maggie, Kate, Megan, Cassie, Fiona, Emma, and Schmay Music. So thank you so much for your support, as always. And Dave, it's been great to have you back, my friend.
It's good to be back, as they say, but it'll be next. Well, it'll be the weekend when we speak next on reality TV.
It will indeed.
But it's always good fun, and yeah, I can't wait to speak to you on. It'll be Sunday lunchtime-ish, probably, when we speak about MAFS. But yeah, really looking forward to it. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to everyone out there for listening. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.